Reverend Deborah Graham.
I come bearing gifts. Documents that show the bipartisan support for this bill, and also other documentation. My name, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, my name is the Reverend Deborah Graham. I'm an Episcopal priest. I speak for myself and a number of my parishioners. I am a second-generation Idaho citizen, born in Boise in 1955. I currently live in Boise, and I have lived in Moscow, Blackfoot, Pocatello, Nampa, Garden City. I currently serve churches in Payette and Weiser. I also have served churches in Nampa and Meridian. I know Idaho, and I love Idaho. Mr. Chairman, I was raised a devout Christian. When my sexuality became conscious, I was horrified. I felt I had to choose between being gay and being myself, between God and being gay. I had to choose between God and being myself, being God and being gay. I chose God and sank into severe depression and emotional pain. I hated myself. I wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself. At one point, I had a gun in my hand, ready to put it to my head and pull the trigger. But somehow, by God's grace, I found the strength to put the gun down and return it to its owner, who ironically had given it to me to protect me from a man who was breaking into single women's apartments in Pocatello, where I lived at the time. I went through 3 years of great emotional suffering. Finally, through theology classes from the Catholic Diocese of Boise, I was Catholic at the time, and much prayer, I was able to hear God speaking in my heart and mind that my sexuality was okay, and God would be with me through the difficulties I knew I would face. As an Episcopal priest, I have listened to parishioners living in Nampa and in Caldwell who speak to me of young teens who have committed suicide and the pain that brings into their hearts. Other parishioners have transgender family members for whom they are quite concerned for their safety and well-being, and they have reason to concern. A well-documented study by the Williams Institute, which I provide copies for everyone here, University of California School of Law, documents the fact that LGBT people experience discrimination in Idaho. Briefly, here is one of the findings of the survey. A 2003 survey showed that more than 2,000 Idahoans found that 16% of transgender respondents, 12% of gay and bisexual men,
30 seconds remaining.
Okay. Were told that by their employer they've been fired from their job. Sir, 1 John says that there's no fear in love, and perfect love casts out fear. But as Martin Luther King said, law cannot make a man love me. The law, however, can and does create safe spaces where we can have conversations with one another to come to know and understand each other, heal our fears, and come together to find the way to fulfill the words of the prophet Micah. Everyone will sit on their vine and fig tree. No one will make them afraid, says the Lord Almighty. For these reasons and more, I ask you, Mr. Chairman, and the committee members to vote yes for House Bill 2. My full written testimony is here, and I ask that it would be put into the record. Thank you.
It will be done. Are there questions? Representative Wintrow.
Mr. Chair, Reverend Graham, thank you very much. Could you please just briefly share the survey with me? You ran through the statistics. I didn't hear the survey name or just the numbers. Could you just please quickly do that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Representative. This is the employment and housing discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity in Idaho by the Williams Institute from the University of California Law School, published May 2014.
And just the statistics you were, excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Representative Wintrow.
Reverend Graham.
Let me read to you. Again, this is one of the findings, and this is an 18-page document with 5 pages of footnotes. A 2003 survey of more than 2,000 Idahoans found that 16% of transgender respondents, 12% of gay and bisexual men, and 8% of gay and bisexual women were expressly told by their employer that they had been fired from a job, not promoted, or had not received compensation or a raise because of their sexual orientation or gender identity. more than half of the LBGT respondents felt they had to hide or deny their sexual orientation or gender identity in the workplace, end quote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Further questions? Thank you.
And thank you for your time, sir.